Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update on the Clayton Echard paternity scandal. Attempts have been made to cancel the pro-Clayton Echard community online. I'm going to share the cease and desist, the self-written cease and desist from Janeth Doeth, and what that means for the community, plus updates on some of the programs I'll be going on to discuss this case. As you guys know, Clayton Echard will be on Nick Viall's podcast on Thursday. Well, today I went on an amazing YouTube channel. Actually, the guy who runs it is based in Korea, but he's an expat here from the States. He found this court case fascinating. I was up at 5:30 a.m. to make sure I got that case in before our content today because I want to bring this conversation to as many people as possible. So I'm going to share with you guys what's going on here with regards to, let me just adjust here, with regards to this cease and desist. I'm also going to share this video clip that I did, but I also wanted to take a second here and share with you guys my thoughts on going on different programs. I had people reach out to me, people that I respect in my community, saying, oh, you shouldn't be going on so-and-so's program. They have these views about COVID and this view about that, and they might it might get the story into the wrong hands. Which, look, it's a valid complaint. It's a valid complaint for someone to be worried that I'll be smeared because I go on a program that might have different ideologies than somebody else. If you're left-leaning, some people don't think you should go on Fox News. If you're right-leaning, why would you go on MSNBC? That's what a lot of people think, which I respect that way of thinking. But being in the echo chamber of this Bachelor content, in this Bachelor niche, has made it so that this story doesn't reach bigger people. My response, and I'm just going to share this with you now because I know a lot of people in these communities are listening, is I'm not worried about going on a program that's, of course, of different political leanings than mine. I have faith in my ability to keep the discussion about the facts. I'm pretty anti-echo chamber, and it's a slippery slope for me to morally decide who I should let hear this story. If Megyn Kelly wants to have me on, I go. If any left programs have the balls to have me on, I go. I'm not cherry picking what shows I go on. This is up to you, the platform, to decide who wants to hear this story. And what we've learned so far is that, and I say this as a progressive-minded person whose ideologies lean left, is that not every platform, and by all means, platforms, for the most part, that being magazines, news stations, whatever, they're psychopathic, just like any corporation. They don't care. They care about their bottom dollar. And if their audience doesn't want to hear that Clayton might be the victim of a scandal where somebody used the Me Too movement to share all of the whatever, they don't necessarily want to share that because it doesn't fit their agenda. Like Rolling Stones, right? They were so busy making that Duke lacrosse story, which lost them what? I don't know. I'm guessing like $60 million in a defamation suit, whatever it was back in the day. So there are very few places that operate with journalistic integrity in today's world. People want the story when all the work is done and said with. And that's where we stand right now. So anyway, I'm not going to let anybody decide where I should share this story. I'm sharing the story, and then people can decide what to do with it, whatever they want. Will some people weaponize this story and say, this is why you shouldn't believe women? People will do whatever they want with this story. It's not my job to say what they do with it. It's my job to elevate the story to as many people as possible. That's my job. And I know you guys get that, and I understand people want to protect me. I truly do get that. But you have to understand, I can't begin the slippery slope of deciding which journalistic integrity exists between platforms, because they're all just, they're all a mess. That's my point. All right, so here's what we have. Janeth Doeth, this is what she wrote. Again, it's going to be kind of small here, so let's enlarge it a little bit. And she wrote this cease and desist to the moderators, who, by the way, they're doing such a good job. It's a volunteer situation. They're doing such a good job scrubbing. I mean, they scrub so many details to protect her because they don't want this to be taken down. Justice for Clayton, the subreddit, exists because the subreddit that was called Janeth Doeth was taken down because it was harassing. It's like, what do you want? She's gonna claim harassment, with anything that's involved by Clayton. So let's just read it. This communication to the moderators of Justice for Clayton. This communication is a final and non-negotiable cease and desist order, emphasizing the severity of your criminal misconduct through the activities on Justice for Clayton. Understand that a subpoena has been issued to Reddit for the release of your identities, and this is the precursor to imminent, severe legal action, grave criminal conduct and legal violations, flagrant doxing in violation of privacy laws, your deliberate publication of my sensitive personal data, including the specific date and location of my upcoming legal deposition, is an egregious violation of both state and federal privacy laws. Such actions constitute illegal doxing, a criminal offense that jeopardizes my safety and privacy. This act is a blatant infringement of statutes designed to protect individuals from unauthorized exposure and use of their private information, harassment, and psychological torture. The content you sanctioned, including the circulation of my personal suicidal note and police welfare check reports, it goes beyond harassment. It amounts to psychological torture and is prosecutable under various criminal statutes. Your calculated actions have inflicted deep emotional trauma, a clear transgression of laws against personal harassment and psychological abuse. Inevitable legal repercussions you will face. Civil liabilities and damages. You will be held civilly liable for substantial damages due to the emotional distress, psychological injury, and reputational harm caused by your willful, malicious actions. These civil lawsuits will seek full recompense and punitive damages for the gross violations you have perpetrated. Criminal prosecutions and penalties. Upon identification through the subpoena, you will be subject to criminal charges. Maybe they'll quash the subpoena. Who knows? Everyone's quashing subpoenas these days. Including but not limited to harassment, illegal dissemination of personal information, and cyber stalking. These charges carry significant legal penalties up to and including imprisonment. Unyielding demand for immediate compliance. Non-negotiable dismantling of Justice for Clayton. The subreddit must be terminated immediately. Failure to comply will not only aggravate your legal predicament, but will also serve as direct evidence of your continued involvement in and endorsement of these criminal acts. Reporting to federal and state criminal justice agencies. Beyond the IC3 complaint, your actions are being reported to relevant criminal justice agencies at both federal and state levels. Oh boy, our tax dollars are busy! These authorities are expected to thoroughly investigate your criminal activities and proceed with legal actions, including potential arrest and prosecution. Your actions have constituted a clear, deliberate, and reprehensible violation of the law. You have willingly engaged in criminal activities causing significant harm and trauma. The cease and desist order represents your final warning. Failure to heed this direct will result in the most aggressive legal response available under the law. Regards, Janeth, the dodo bird, doe. Look, okay. First of all, I want to say this. Yesterday, I told you I would give you guys some new information on the Patreon, and I had a massive, massive failure of internet yesterday. It was so bad. My internet went in and out like 15 times. I truly felt like a fifth world country. It was ridiculous. I have literally ripped my modem and router because I'm like, oh, maybe all the boxes I have stacked against the walls are getting in the way. Maybe Jane's cutting the fiber cables. I don't really know. I have ripped the modem off the wall. I have dragged it into my office, and it is pointing directly at my balls. Okay, folks? These sperm are 5G. I got 5G sperm coming at you right now, okay? I got glowing nuts, all right? So the internet is back, baby. It's better than ever. On today's Patreon, I'm going to share with you information I received in my court case, the update, what Jane Doe is asking for, what she's willing to give. I've got that for you today as I discuss this on Patreon. I'm going to have it up at the 10 a.m. hour, probably 10:15, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time this morning. I'm letting you know that, okay? So that's where that will be. I will be there, and you can catch me there with all of that information. Now, with regards to Janeth Dodo over here saying, she's going to take all this legal action against the subreddit. This is why when you search Clayton, you find a couple articles from October, a month ago, September. You don't find that much about what's going on here. Oh, you got July. He's a pickleball champion. The fact that on the first page you only have 10 articles, 7 of which cover this, is atrocious. Nobody wants to cover it. Nobody wants to deal with this bullshit. It's atrocious. This is why, as I got up at 5 a.m. this morning to discuss this with Legal Vices, and you can go check out the full 2-hour conversation we had, I will talk until my flipping voice goes out, and then I'll be using voice to text or whatever. I'll sound like Stephen Hawking. I don't care. You're going to hear the truth. But here's what I said about who the true hero is here.
Don't make money. But I always think of like the picture of this all. Like what's the through line? How do you tell this story as a documentary? And I think it's the underground movement of the vigilantes out there that have wanted justice. I mean, people have poured hours into this just to get the truth out there. There's this private community called The Flock. They vet all their members. I'm not even in the community, but they do all of this research and they try to get it out there. And it's like, I think if she didn't do this to somebody and didn't make this public, she flew a little too close to the sun. Mm-hmm. If she did this to another random guy, we wouldn't be talking about this, and that's the scary part.
Well, what about her? I'm assuming.
So anyway, you can go listen or watch this full 2-hour conversation. This kind of gets you from beginning to where we stand right now. And some people in the chat said, "Why are we talking about this? It's just a fake pregnancy." And the response that Legal Vices over here had was a great one, which is that's the reason why it got this far. Is that people in a greater scheme of things, it doesn't affect who they're going to vote for in the election. It doesn't affect the price of their groceries. It affects this guy. And it affects the guy before him and the guy before that and the guy after him and the guy after that. That's who it affects. It affects these guys that no one has stood up for them and said, enough is enough. You in the audience have stood up for him. You have started a subreddit. A subreddit, let me pull it up, that has a massive audience in this short amount of time. People said, oh, we don't want to hear about this in the other communities. Well, you're hearing about it today, right? 1,800 members. These aren't just 1,800 random people that stumbled in. These are 1,800 people that are, really, really paying attention to what's going on right now. They just posted right now the media coverage this morning from my conversation. They're going to share that Nick Viall's going to have him on. They're going to share all the court documents, which are publicly accessible. Look, they're even redacting her name. Like, what does she want? They're redacting. Like, I have the same question. It's like, I've redacted all of her information. I've made this a pro Clayton Echard's truth and pro the truth, period. The objectionable truth. The truth. The truth is on fire. That's all we're trying to get to right here, right? So either way, this is a quick one, but that's what's happening if they do cancel the Justice for Clayton page. It won't be because the moderators bent their knee. They've got backbone. They've got spine. They've been doing a great job of scouring the comment section and making sure nobody violates anything. Look, yeah, it's public information that she's got a deposition on January 17th. It's going to be taking place, I guess, at the law firm, which is publicly available information. I'm not encouraging anyone to go there. This is a private event. This isn't a public court case. No one should go there. She should be able to take an Uber from her home into the law firm. I bet if you even call Isabel at Woodnick Law, she'll walk out to the Uber and walk you inside. I bet that's the case. Nobody's out to get you. People are out to get the God honest truth. That's what we want. I'm going to be back in about an hour with some information I think is going to blow your flipping mind. I truly mean this. I think what I'm going to share with you is going to blow your mind, and we'll have that for you right after this.